Savannah has a rich history and tradition of jazz music. During a recent panel discussion at the Savannah Cultural Arts Center, former Mayor Otis Johnson was joined by Huxsie Scott, Teddy Adams, Ike Carter, and Dr. Charles Elmore to offer a glimpse into that history and the music's impact.
Savannah's jazz roots can be traced back to the vocals and drumming of Africa, and it flourished in Savannah thanks to the improvisational skills of early African Americans who used it as a form of expression and communication.
We as African American people have to ride the vicissitudes of life, the difficulties of life, and improvise and make do.
The music is a part of the people who created the music. Improvisation, which is one of the main tenets of the music, one of the main elements of the music, is a way of life that African Americans had to have in order to make it in this country. We had to improvise.
So jazz is about the improvisation of life, and not only black life, but all jazz musicians.
West Broad Street, now Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, became the heart and soul of Savannah Jazz in the early 20th century.
As early as 1909 on Thanksgiving Day, Josephine Styles opened the Pekin Theater. To go back to what I said earlier.
Tell them a little bit about the Pekin.
The Pekin Theater was based on the Pekin Theater in Chicago of Bob Mott's.
Yeah.
And they played, they had all the vaudevillians. There was great vaudeville in Savannah.
Many jazz greats have Savannah roots, including drummer Ben Riley, saxophonist James Moody, and the singer Irene Reed.
Being a seaport town, and like Dr. Elmore said, a town of infamy by reputation, people, it drew people. I mean, you know, entertainers, musicians, jazz, rhythm and blues musicians, a lot of times they wouldn't be booked here. They would stop here merely because we had venues and there was some possible work.
That jazz tradition continues thanks to individuals like Teddy Adams, Ike Carter, Dr. Charles Elmore, and vocalist Huxsie Scott.
I have to hold on to lyrics that were written by someone else, and I respect the music that was written by somebody else. But I get a chance to fly and give my own take on what they've done. And that is the way I see it. And when I look back, I have always done that with songs all my life, even though I didn't know that's what I was doing.
And thanks to the work of the Savannah Jazz Association, formerly the Coastal Jazz Association, Savannah's rich jazz history is being preserved and retold.
This distinguished panel are serving as our advisors for one of our biggest projects ever as a 37-year-old keeper of Savannah's jazz legacy. It is the Savannah Jazz History and Hall of Fame exhibit. This will be our first chance to tell for a very long time in perpetuity this rich story of Savannah's jazz history.
To watch the panel discussion in its entirety, go to youtube.com/City of Savannah.